Hello and welcome to Crucible of Words for more dedicated legacy action. We're now going deeper into my weird little brain in terms of our December, and we are playing a pretty spicy mono-black depths build. So we have Dark Depths with a couple of Thespian stage to pop it that way. We also have the Vampire Hexmages. That's all well and good, but then we start getting a little bit weird. We've got this scam package with Grief and Troll of Khazad-dûm that we can then reanimate on turn 1 or turn 2, get a peek our opponent's hand, make a big creature, be very aggressive, that sort of jam. We've got Dark Ritual to power out some stuff pretty quickly. And you know what's really good with Dark Ritual and fast mana like Ancient Tomb? That's Urza, Saga and Painter's Servant. So Painter's Servant, we can have this running, drop a Saga, go and get our Grindstone and win that way. We've also got like a small little Saga package with an Expedition map, which kind of ties it all together so we can get our land combo, and then Shadowspear just in case we need to beat down with some stuff. It all makes a lot of sense. As a Saga, just being a very good card is pretty nice to have here. But wait, we still get weirder from here on in, because we are running this card called Mausoleum Secrets, and you're going to understand why we're playing all the other things when you read this one. So it's 1 and a black instant. Search your library for a black card with mana value less than or equal to the number of creature cards in your graveyard. Reveal it, put it in your hand, then shuffle. So if we have a Painter's Servant in play, you know what Mausoleum Secrets can get? It can get anything. So if we have Painter's Servant in play but no cards in our graveyard, we can get any of our lands. And we're a land-based combo deck, right, with Dark Depths and Thespian Stage. So we can just use this to tutor for one of those. Although if we have Painter's Servant in play, we're more likely going to want to tutor for our Grindstone. And that's the thing we can do. We also have one Sheoldred's Edict, which is a little bit of a spicy one we can go and find. And in terms of putting creatures in our graveyard, we're running this scam package. So this synergizes really well with the Mausoleum Secrets in terms of just being able to use this as a sort of demonic tutor to get some pretty good things going. Now, yes, this deck is pretty wild and pretty out there. And sometimes we're just going to end up by ramping a Sheoldred into play and that'll be enough. And that's fine. We are attacking on lots of different axes, and there is some overlapping synergy between the different ways we're trying to attack our opponent. Yes, Mausoleum Secrets can be pretty bad early, but then it's just a black card to pitch for Grief in theory. So there is that. Maybe we're supposed to be running Chromox, I'm not entirely sure. Just as another way of getting rid of these bad Mausoleum Secrets, and it makes our Urza Saga tokens bigger. That's definitely a possibility, but that's not what we're running today. This is fresh out of my brain from a few weeks back. I wrote an article about probably months now. I wrote an article about mono-black depths, and this was just like a weird spicy bonus list that I brewed up, and now we're going to give it a go and see if it does anything. Sideboard-wise, we've got creatures covered between Plague Engineer and Sheoldred's Edict. We've got some Graveyard Hate in the Surge of Extraction, a little bit more hand disruption in Thoughtseize, another Sheoldred for the matchups where I really want that. This could maybe be something else, but, you know, sometimes you just want some more Sheoldreds, right? And then 2 Rite of Consumptions. We can use this by making our Dark Depths token in our main phase, and then once the creature's in play, we are the people with priority because it's our turn, so we then Rite of Consumption it before our opponent gets to remove it. So that's going to be really helpful against all these white removal decks that are going to be trying to jam us up by plowing all of our guys and stuff, so we can just throw 20 damage straight at our opponent's face. And yeah, that's the deck. It's definitely wild, it's untested, probably going to have some kinks that need ironing out, but that's half the fun, isn't it? So let's just jam into it with this pretty wild build, and remember to like and subscribe as well. Not only does it help out the channel, but it means you won't miss any more weird and wonderful December content. Alright, let's go. If you're looking to play Legacy on MTGO like me, why not try Card Hoarder? They're a rental service that I personally use, and I found them better than other rental services that I've used in the past, so why not give them a try? Alright, round 1 is against Storm Extraordinaire Tony Scapone. And he's going to have to see this nonsense we're playing. All right, we're going to mulligan this one because it doesn't really do an awful lot. Okay, this one kills on turn 3. I think that's fine. We'll throw back probably an Urborg here. Let's see how this goes. Okay, I think our opponent is on the Paradoxical Outcome, which he recently won the challenge with. All right, his Urza Saga is going to do a lot more than ours, but ours will have an infinite combo. Well, an infinite combo, but a 2-step combo. This is an interesting choice. I think we are just jamming our own Saga here and just go for the turn 3 kill. We will have to get through some kind of counterspell, I'm sure. Alright, so our opponent's playing out a bunch of stuff there. This might be a little bit of a difficult one. Right, the Aetherflux Reservoir is in the graveyard. Understood. Okay. They saw our other Urza Saga. That doesn't give them any more information than the information they already have. That's nice. Alright, what have we got? Wish we kept that Urborg, to be honest. Everyone's got 4 cards in hand. And we're playing out this. So next turn we can use our Dark Ritual if we want to. And we just jam this Painter though. And represent the win next turn. They could have a Force of Will here, but hopefully if they do that, then they're going to at least give up some of the power in their hand. Things like Paradoxical Outcome or like Thought Monitors, that sort of thing is what they'd be pitching. Force of Will pitching an Emery. Alright, a redundant Emery. No good. We didn't really have a choice of doing it another way, but we can put a 20/20 onto the stack next turn. Right, so this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 mana. So 2 to crack Expedition Map. Actually, no, if we don't want to play this, do we? 1, 2, 3, 4 mana. So 2 to crack Expedition Map, 2 to play Hexmage, 1, and then our land drop is the Dark Depths. So we have a thing. Our opponent might want to get some sort of like Pithing Needle for Grindstone going. But we have a 20/20 incoming. Is it going to be good enough? I don't know. Something like the One Ring can fog it for a turn and then probably win the turn after. I don't fancy our chances with our opponent with a very well-practiced and refined deck and also being the best person in the world at playing said deck. Whereas we are on a brew that nobody's played. So we are the underdog, but I believe... I do not think that he will see our Dark Depths line coming. So there is that. We also don't have any big haymakers like Null Rod or anything because we're running Grindstone combo. Candy Trail. This can gain them 3 life, but that's not going to keep them above 20. But they can like play out the Aetherflux Reservoir and jam some spells, and that's going to be pretty awkward. This is a cool card if you haven't seen it. So it's 1 mana. When it enters the battlefield, you scry 2. You can pay 2, sack it to gain 3 life and draw a card. It's just not a bad thing to have when you've got Emery loops going on. Like the 1 mana scry 2 is generally pretty reasonable when it's got other stuff attached to it. Also, subtype Clue Food. Pretty cool. Alright, a Thought Monitor. So this is going to be difficult for us to beat through with our Dark Depths. But I think it's what we have to do. Also, a 20/20 can definitely roadblock some of the creatures they've got. Right, they're going to see the top of our library. Thespian Stage. Okay, that's probably going to give them some indication that we're doing something a bit weird. So we float off of this. We'll get ourselves... We could get the Soul Guide Lantern here and posture defensively. If we take out the Aetherflux Reservoir, they have to win with Paradox Engine. Well, no, they don't. They just win with these massive yachts. And that's going to be fine. I think we stick to the plan here. If our opponent's got a counterspell for this, it's pretty good and probably kills us. 5, 10, 11, 12. Okay, we'll crack this. Going to get ourselves a Dark Depths. Play a Vampire Hexmage. Got another Force of Will. Alright. We have a 20/20 available to us now. The Grim Monolith. Okay. Here it comes. They don't really have much of a way of getting through this Thought Monitor without attacking. Paradoxical Outcome bounced on a whole bunch of their things. That's pretty good. So they can redeploy the Monolith, the box. And I'll give them 4 mana to work with this turn. So bouncing Candy Trail, pretty good. You get some more scry action. Okay, another Monolith, that's +1 mana. So they can deploy the Thought Monitor as well here. Okay, the One Ring. Alright, that's not ideal for us. If they attack, then we still make the 20/20 just so we can gobble up a construct. But our opponent is very far ahead here, so I think Tony's going to smash this up good. I don't believe they attack here. Maybe it does. I don't know. Doesn't really seem necessary. Another Thought Monitor is just going to be the Emery. Another Thought Monitor. Yikes. Alright, it's going to be tough. Our opponent has many more permanents than us, that's for sure. Yep. And an Emery too. So they're going to attack now and force through 10 damage, and that's pretty good. We don't get to attack them because of the One Ring. So, what is our strategy? We can Mausoleum Secrets for nothing. That's not really what we're after. We can play an Urza Saga and get that tick in. Our opponent already knew about this as well, so it's not really a problem. So if they just attack with everything, we die next turn, right? Because we can put 20/20 here, and this is 10, 2, 2. So we're just done. Tony is not going to miss that. All right. So Let's separate this out a bit. What is going to be useful here? Shoulder of the Apocalypse is going to be useful because the deck relies on drawing a lot of cards. Circuit Extraction because it is an Emery based deck. And also Thoughtseize because you want some hand disruption. Sheoldred's Edict is okay, but not the most exciting. I do like our whole scam package in general. We need to be disruptive, we need to be threatening. I think we're getting rid of Sheoldred's Edict here. Shadowspear is useful. Being able to grindstone our opponent out of the game is useful. I think we know what's probably getting cut here, don't we? It's probably going to be some Mausoleum Secrets. And we don't really have time to try and leverage this sort of stuff. And probably trimming a Painter. And maybe we trim one Dark Depths here. We're basically trying to be more of a scam deck than we are a combo deck here, sadly. Because that's just going to be the thing that keeps us alive in this matchup. Huh. These colourless lands are not free, are they? This hand would be great if we had a single swamp. But I don't think we can keep this one without a swamp in there. Oh my god. No lands. Yikes. Is this good enough to play the game? Like, what does it do? I think we keep. So we don't need the Shadowspear right now. I think it's probably the Dark Ritual that goes. Well, that is triple black, which could be useful. We only have one black source right now. Alright. Our hand is not very useful. We can play out Urza Saga. I think that's going to be too slow here. What else are we doing, I guess is the better question. Right, we just play out the Saga. This can get us at least Soul Guide Lantern or Expedition Map to go find Dark Depths. I'm pretty sure like a single Force of Will is going to be enough to stop what we're doing here. Now we do have a potential uncounterable 2020, but it's going to be very slow. Alright, Ancient Tomb, Lotus Petal, another Lotus Petal, another Lotus Petal. We're going to see turn 1, the One Ring. I think we can just scoop to that, to be honest. I think we're beating the One Ring. It might not be the One Ring though. Okay, a Thoughtcast. Acceptable. Part of us is hoping they do some sort of Emery line where they put a Thought Monitor in the graveyard and then we get to reanimate it. That'd be quite nice. A Soul Guide Lantern. Okay, that doesn't stop us from reanimating from their graveyard if the time comes, but it certainly stops us from reanimating from ours. What do they see off of our Mishra's Bauble? A Vampire Hexmage. Okay. Yeah, we're just not going to get to play the game today. That's what this round is gonna be. Our opponent still needs to find something useful to actually win the game with. It shouldn't be that difficult. I've played Tony's deck and it's pretty strong. Like, I played it the first time, I think I went 4-1, having not really played any Paradoxical Outcome decks ever before. So, very strong. Alright, this is our chance to get something going. We did not get anything going. We could get Shadowspear and... sorry, not Shadowspear. We could go and get the Soul Guide Lantern and jam something. Stop them from doing something. But I think this is the better play. So... seen this one before. Sacrifice this. Go to Dark Depths. Play the Hexmage. Alright. And Force of Will there. Right, so we'll play this out. So if we draw a black source, we can just... well, we don't even need a black source. We can try and reanimate, but our opponent does have a Soul Guide Lantern, so it's unlikely that's going to work. Oh, they're just cracking it. Okay. It's as sane as a chance. Right, they're replaying the Soul Guide Lantern. There is not a chance. Okay, but any black source gives us Hexmage. Interesting, taking the ritual. Alright, they're just drawing a card. Okay, so we can do our Hexmage. Alright, maybe we can get there. An Urza's Saga. Is that what we want right now? I think it is. Let's reanimate our Hexmage. Definitely stepping on our own toes a lot with all these colourless lands. Alright. We can make a 2020 next turn. Our opponent has not found the One Ring yet unless they've been sandbagging it for the 2020 turn, which is reasonable. But I think if you've got it, you just put it online straight away and just win the game because that's pretty much what the card does. Alright, they want the Soul Guide Lantern. This is an immediate redraw as opposed to a slower redraw off of the baubles. So if you're looking for more cards to play right now, that's why you would get the Soul Guide Lantern as opposed to the bauble, even though it costs you 2 mana to get that draw. We've got a chance at least here. Ottawara is something we have to consider as well. Alright, we have to make it now. Alright, we managed to get a win. Okay. We got a game win. I will take that. So part of me is wondering if we want Sheoldred's Edicts just for the hands that are kind of all in on Emry's. Because Emry is like a big engine. But I think it's better to shut off the graveyard with our graveyard hate spells than it is to try and pick off the Emry with a Sheoldred's Edict. I think generally that's going to work out better for us. Right, then we just go back in again. Alright, our hand looks like the sort of hand you'd see in a good deck. So that's reassuring. We can scam our opponent good. There is an Ancient Tomb. There is a Grim Monolith. We're going to see a turn 1, the One Ring. That would be pretty bad news for our hand right now. Okay. What are we going to draw here? A Dark Ritual, you say? Does that change anything? I'm not sure if it does. I think we start off by exiling this Hexmage for this Grief. So we can play a turn 2 hardcast Grief next turn, if that's what we want to do. Let's see what Tony's working with. Alright, the One Ring can get out of here. Surprised I didn't play it last turn. Oh, but they probably just drew it off of the bauble. I could try and surgical extract these Thoughtcasts, but what we're actually going to do is surgically extract the One Ring in their upkeep. So I think we just play out the Swamp here. Because I'd quite like to have the Grief as a threat. Because if we just give Tony the time, he's going to win the game eventually. So in their draw step, hit the One Ring. Can we pay here? Yeah, we'll pay regular mana. Right, do a Grim Monolith. Carry on. By paying the life, we prevented against Urza Saga killing us a little bit. But the cost for that is that we don't get to Troll Cycle this turn. But I think that's acceptable. Certainly making things difficult for our opponent. Okay. So this turn we Dark Ritual into Grief, Emry and Thoughtcast. I think Emry is the better of these two cards. Emry is an engine. Thoughtcast just draws them 2 cards if they can find a blue source. And hopefully Tony won't find blue source, because it'd be nice to get some wins with this deck. Alright, a Mox. This is online as well, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So they can cast this. It'll cost them 2 life though. And tapping their Grim Monolith? No, they can just tap this, right? They don't have to tap the Grim Monolith. Maths. Another Ancient Tomb. These will have a detrimental impact on our opponent's life total. Alright, we're going to be making some Saga tokens and beating down. There is another option here of copying an Ancient Tomb. So we can untap with 1, 2, 3, 4. No, that's still not enough mana to do anything. Right, we're not doing that. If we get a Dark Ritual, that would be enough. A Manifold Key. Okay, so this unlocks these Grim Monoliths. But these Ancient Tombs are taking a heavy toll. Right, we'll make a Construct. Let's see what we draw. We're probably still making another Construct. Okay, we're making another Construct. And I think we want the Soul Guide Lantern here. We could get the Expedition map. I think the Soul Guide Lantern is better here. It makes Emry worse. Although is this game going to be about Emry? We only need to have 1 more turn. Maybe we're supposed to get the Expedition map. But then, how good is the 2020 going to be? No, I think the Soul Guide Lantern is a safer option here. We'll take out the Bauble. Play a mana source. Go to attacks. Which is far. This is 6, so we have our opponent dead next turn. This is why I don't think the. So they could have a repeal here and bounce this. Yeah. We can't stop that. Sure. So we're gonna hit him for 3 this turn, and then 5 next turn. But any tappings of Ancient Tombs is going to have a significant impact. So tap an Ancient Tomb, we only need to find an artifact to kill our opponent. So maybe if we got the Shadowspear instead of the Soul Guide Lantern, but this can stop some deviousness on our opponent's side. Alright, so the Soul Guide Lantern does a pretty good job against Emry here. We're not going to pop this Soul Guide Lantern. I will cycle this though. A Dark Ritual, you say. Right, we'll go to attacks. Let's play Vampire Hexmage, and let's pass the turn. We have Soul Guide Lantern to cover Emry from doing anything this turn. So it's basically what cards does our opponent have in their hand. They can't have the One Ring to Fog because we exiled all those. Targeting Haywire Might. Alright. Oh, I thought we were toast, but we got there. Okay, so our deck is brilliant. That's all I'm hearing here. Yeah, we got relatively fortunate, but the scam side of the deck did a good job there. So let's go to round 2. We've already put a win on the board. Now this hand is a proper mess, isn't it? We've got redundant halves of combos, things that don't search anything. This is a very easy mulligan. Again, we have got a similar problem going on here. When you have enough A plus Bs in your deck, you're going to end up with drawing a whole bunch of just different As. Alright, this is a mulligan. This is an acceptable hand of Magic the Gathering. We'll keep this. So on 2, we want Urza Saga, Swamp, Ritual, Grief. Which means you get rid of an Urborg, and we're probably going to get rid of the other Urborg. Does reduce us from being able to cast black spells for a little bit. But I think that's acceptable given what's in our hand right now. Yep, so turn 1 we just play a Swamp and pass. Turn 2 we Dark Ritual out a Grief using our Urza Saga, and then we can just make a couple of construct tokens. This is a reasonable hand. Okay. A Mox Diamond. So we're looking lands. Possibly... Alright, Sphere of Resistance. That's pretty good against what we've got going on. That does undo our plan that we had. So we could do the Grief this turn and then reanimate it next turn. That's not really very good though, is it? We could... We just don't have enough black cards to really do all the things we want here. So I think we're just going to pass and try and leverage some Urza Saga constructs. If our opponent plays a Wasteland, we're going to have a pretty miserable time, I think. So don't put one of those into play. Oh, there it is. Alright. So, Dark Ritual costs us 3 mana. Costs us 2 mana. So we have 3 mana on our pool. 1 mana to play the Grief, pitching Mausoleum Secrets. 1 mana to reanimate. That is the thing we can do. I will take thing we can do. Let's hope our opponent's got some nice juicy things for us to take. Not really, is the answer to that one. I guess they're going to get a Life from Loam, and they're probably going to dredge that this turn. So let's actively help them. But we need to do something, because otherwise we're not going anywhere. Dark Depths is super scary for us, but it's also a thing they don't really want to play themselves, because we have a Thespian state. Alright, this is going to be a 3 mana Life from Loam, returning Maze of Ith, among other things, which is going to be a real bane for us to try and get through. Okay, let's attack. We can give ourselves black next turn by copying our Swamp with a Thespian stage. But our opponent just plays a Maze of Ith this turn. They probably dredge Life from Loam still. And then they play a Maze of Ith. Oh, they didn't dredge, sure. I guess they want to put more stuff in their graveyard first anyway. They can play the Maze of Ith, and that's going to shut off our Grief from doing anything particularly useful. Ooh, a Wasteland. Oh, this is a mistake, because this copies this and blanks that Wasteland for a turn. Do attacks. I think I'd rather just get another threat in play than anything else here. We've got 5 power, we can put the hurt on. No dredge on Life of the Loam. The Maze of Ith cuts off 3 of our damage though. There it is. Nice little old border treatment one there. A Painter's Servant. Right, we'll go attacks. We're going to put in a Painter's Servant because it attacks. I'm going to name black with it. So our Mausoleum Secrets does stuff. Alright. They've got another Maze of Ith. Understood. We're only going to be forcing 1 damage a turn. We don't really have ways of dealing with Maze of Ith in our deck. Outside of... Alright, so we're going to lose our Thespian stage this time, sure. But outside of, like, Sheoldred draining people out. Alright, we're not going to play this. We'll keep it in hand so that when we have a spell we want to cast, we have a land that's not going to get wastelanded. One of your finest damages, Painter's Servant. Also, this means if we draw a Grindstone, we can just grind our opponent out. Actually, that's not true because Grindstone costs 1 additional mana, doesn't it? Right, there is an Urza Saga from our opponent. That's going to do some real damage in a few turns' time. Another Sphere of Resistance. Okay, so we're trying to draw, like, Grindstone here. Another Painter's Servant. We could play this and force some damage through. I think we're probably priced into doing that, but they will just wasteland our Ancient Tomb. Yeah, I don't think we play this out. I think we have to try and keep our options open in terms of what we can draw here. Because we can play a Grindstone, and then even if they wasteland us, if we draw any other mana source, we get to jam. So we've got a plan, but they're going to start making some large boys. Alright. Swamp, happy to play that one. We can't play the Painted Servant because it costs more mana than we have. Unless we play out our Ancient Tomb but instead of our Swamp, but then we're taking damage. And then we're also getting wastelanded off of our Grindstone kill. The Pithing Needle's already gone, so they can't Pithing Needle our Grindstone here. They can get Shadowspear and just pound us. I guess the other option we had here, which is probably the correct option, was to copy their Saga. But then they just wasteland us off of it, right? So it doesn't actually get to do anything at that point. Because it only gets one counter in our turn, and the next turn it gets wastelanded. So no, that wouldn't have been a good play. Right, so they didn't get... we're going to block this. I don't think we're going to block this. Not this time. We can block the others. Shadowspear from hand would be a bit of a pain. Right, so now we can cast this. And this will also name black. No point attacking because of the Maze of Ith. So Grindstone wins us the game on the spot. We'll block here. We'll block here. I think I do. Don't want to get both of our painters ploughed. Or one of our painters ploughed. So I think we're just going to take the damage that we can save here. Well, they don't have trample or anything like that. See the Life of the Loam, picking up all the nonsense again. 4 mana Life of the Loam, still good. Yep, as Saga continues to do stuff. Come on, Grindstone. Come on, Grindstone. Alright, you're not a Grindstone. You are, though, a chump blocker. And that's okay, too. We definitely take one of the chump blocks this turn. So we take 7 here. But means our Ancient Tomb is still on. Oh, I didn't make a construct to force extra damage. And the Wasteland. We're just playing the Can We Draw Grindstone game. That's not a Grindstone, is it? So now we have to send both of our guys under the bus. Actually, no, we can't do anything here, right? We gave ourselves the chance to draw the Grindstone there, but... No, it was a long way down. The Mausoleum Secrets could find it, but... Okay, we want surge extractions from Life of the Loam or Wastelands or whatever is useful at the time. Rite of Consumption is actually interesting here. Sheoldred's Edict can have uses. Sheoldred of the Apocalypse, not great against the Caracas deck. So what do we not like here? Not big into Dark Depths, but the Rite of Consumption does help us push through. It's going to be Mausoleum Secrets, isn't it? I'm sorry, deck. We're trying to get it to work, but it is the weak link, I think. And I don't think Shadowspear works here. Like, we're either killing them or we're not. Probably going to have more Graveyard Hate. Sure, we'll take out 1 Reanimate. Oh, I still got the Sheoldred's Edict. That's what we're supposed to take out. Okay, we'll keep this. Let's hope they don't have a Wasteland in their opener. So they're on like a beatdown plan. We have a turn 3 Goldfish. And that is acceptable. We can also pump out some Construct tokens if we think that's what we need to do with our Ancient Tombs. No Wasteland. Alright. Okay, maybe there is a Wasteland. There's an Exploration, and there's the Wasteland. Sure. Let's Swamp Cycle. Maybe we're not supposed to even cycle that one because we've got so much mana in hand. I have a bunch of basics to play on there. It's probably going to be handy. We could have played the Painter out there, which means we get to kill a Grindstone if we draw it next turn. It just exposes our Painter to things like Swords to Plowshares, which a lot of these lands decks can run now. Alright, our opponent has a Saga. They have a Maze of Ith. Life from the Loam, back to Wasteland. Yep. All these horrible things and more. Rite of Consumption. That's not really the one we're after, is it? So we play this out. And then... No, I think we're just holding still. I'm going to try and play as much as we can in one turn if possible. Exploration is so brutal here. Life from the Loam. Alright, it's going to make a construct at end of turn because Maze of Ith taps for mana due to the Yawgmoth. Dark Depths. That's not the one, is it? Probably going to name Grindstone, aren't they? Alright. They're probably going to get Pithing Needle named Grindstone is what I'm assuming here. Alright, opponent. How bad is it going to be for us? We have... If I don't get Shadowspear, we have a win, potentially, in a couple of turns. If we can find the Hexmage, we can just go smash his depths, make a 20/20, and then Rite of Consumption our opponent exactly as we drew it up. I'm going to take 3 damage here. They got an Expedition map instead. Maybe we were supposed to play the Painter last turn. Because obviously these Ancient Tombs have got a limited amount of use in the face of Recurring Wasteland. Yeah. But we're happy to bait out Wastelands on our Ancient Tombs. Now we have a Dark Depths that we can try and win with. Oh, they're tapping their Wasteland. Right, they're cracking their map. So this will be another Urza Saga. Yeah, there it is. Okay. Soul Guide Lantern. Alright, and we'll make this guy in black. And get rid of the Urza Saga that is in our opponent's graveyard. We'll play this Ancient Tomb to try and bait out this Wasteland. Because we don't want them to have an untapped Wasteland in case we get to do our thing. We are still... Actually, no, because the Dark Depths taps for mana because of their Yawgmoth, we have the mana for it. Yes. Let's float a green mana. I think we want to shut off a loam rather than draw a card here. Yep, so attacking with these two, they can make them into 3/3s, so we're not going to block. Yep, so they're going to force an extra 2 damage here. And there's a Wasteland. There's a Blast Zone. They're casting Life from Alone, targeting this Wasteland and this Ancient Tomb. I think this is worth us just saying no to. Like, obviously they can use that next Wasteland and stuff, so it's not ideal. A Grindstone, excellent. Does our opponent have a Source of Plowshares? They do. Oh no, they're drawing a card with a Horizon Canopy. Okay, maybe they don't. Crucible of Worlds. Ah, okay. Force of Vigor is what they're drawing to. That's sad. Chases 4, 8, 12. Yeah, that's lethal. Yeah, we got rocked pretty hard there. No Hexmage in sight. Feels like this is going to be a tricky one a lot of the time. Like, we can just like wombo combo them with painters and stuff. But, yeah, bit of an awkward one. If we wait until their upkeep to do this, they still Force of Vigor us. They just... Oh, wait, they don't have double green, actually. No, they do have double green. Have you Yawgmoth? Ignore me. Yeah, so they still just win us there anyway. So that's fair enough. Yeah, we got crushed. Our hand is a bit of a mess. That's mulligan. We can play the Urza Saga game, I guess. That's reasonable. We lose to Wasteland, basically, but... Grove of the Burn Willows. Exploration. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. We are going to have a bad time. Let's play this out. Play out this Shadowspear. And pass. Let's see if we can churn out some construct tokens. At the very least, they can block our opponent's construct tokens. And maybe there's a way where we can trade, or even trade up because we played a Shadowspear. Blast Zone. I can take out our Shadowspear if they wish. Crop rotation for Wasteland. Wasteland, our Urza Saga. Okay, like, we can still win this game. We can try and combo our opponent out, but it's going to be hard. Alright. We might show them that we're a black deck with Urza Saga, so they might be thinking MONOBLACK Saga Storm. Yeah, so this is a guy. Make another guy. I think we're probably not going to play many more turns of this. Are they going for an Expedition map here? No, they're going for a Mox Diamond. Field of the Dead. Okay, so they're more likely to be towards the 8 mulch builds. Alright, so this Life Mausoleum is pretty bad news for us. The Urza Saga is back. I think we'll take a draw step, but then we'll probably think about scooping it up at this point. A grief. I don't think it's worth showing our opponent more cards here. They're so far ahead. So extractions. I like these. I think our opponent is more on the 8 mulch, which means... What does it mean for us? It means we're going to have a bad time, because we saw the Field of the Dead as well. So, again, we're probably not going to be Shadowspearing our opponent out here. Sheoldred's Edict, you know, can sometimes do stuff. That's not really what we're about. And we're just trying to do our combo as quickly as possible. So that means we probably don't want Sheoldred's. And we're probably trimming on a Grief and a Reanimate. Yeah, this matchup feels Very poor for us. Again, we've got 2 halves of different combos. That's not really what we want. This is an early Troll of Khazad-dûm, right? So 1 mana, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's a turn 3 Troll of Khazad-dûm, which is, you know, it's early, but it's not incredible. Our opponent's got an Expiration Start and a Saga. Okay, that's going to outclass our Troll relatively quickly. Mausoleum Secrets, you say? Alright, we have a plan. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 mana. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, we don't have it over in 1 turn. We need 2 turns to do this. And this as a Saga is going to get... So if we draw a Dark Ritual, obviously your Grindstone would be great, but a Dark Ritual gives us enough mana, I think. So we need 1, 2, 3... Oh no, what is this? Crop rotation. Okay, Yawgmoth. Dark Depths. Thespian stage. Okay. Life from Mausoleum. Okay, they allowed us the ability to play our own, although they have Besage you up, so they can blow up our stuff now. So that's pretty annoying. What is the plan here? If we cast Mausoleum Secrets, then they just kill this in response. Not feeling particularly great about our options here. Like, Dark Depths isn't really going to get it done here. They're going to put Shadowspear on it if they need to. Sheoldred Edict's gone from our deck. Play out the Ancient Tomb and pass. Like, playing out a Troll of Khazad-dûm here does nothing. Okay, they didn't try and Besage you there. Besage you only cost them 1 mana when they have their Dark Depths Merit Lage token. This is probably going to get Pithing Needle Name and Grindstone just to really shut us down. Yep, there it is. Life from Loam, come back for more. There's a Wasteland, there's a Saga. Okay, so you're saying there's an almost 0 chance here. Let's cast this Mausoleum Secrets. They should respond by Besageing this, in which case we cycle the Troll and get a 1-drop. Oh no, they just let us in, have they? Interesting. Okay. So they have a Besage they can use on our Dark Depths. Sorry, on our Thespian stage. So they're holding up their own Thespian stage. A Rite of Consumption, you say? This is an interesting one. If we play out the stage, they can't make their guy this turn. Or we at least get to make one as well. Right, I didn't make it. Alright, we're going to try and Rite of Consumption our opponent out. Alright, so just going to... So this becomes... Yeah, we still have it if this becomes a basic. And this disincentivizes them from playing the Wasteland out. But they have the Besage, don't they? That's the issue here. Yeah. Playing depth strategies against lands is never fun. Maze of Ith. Sure. So we know they have the Besage. How do we beat that? So the moment we try and copy this into a swamp, we're not going to get anywhere. Because they're just going to Wasteland it. They also have a Besage in hand. They're copying their Dark Depths. If we copy this, we just get Wastelanded. So we have to let them have the Dark Depths. And our plan here is to draw a Grindstone. And they can still Besage you that, can't they, as well? Yikes. What are we supposed to do here? You can go up to 21, but I don't really think that's helpful. If we make our own Dark Depths and try and copy it, they will just Wasteland us. Yeah, they just got us in a massive bind here. No, we're just done. Yeah, this land matchup feels brutal. Alright, we have to basically try and win off of the Painter combo, which is a bit more secondary to what our deck's trying to accomplish, or tertiary even. We're sort of like scam into depths into Painter, so a bit awkward. Alright, let's go to round 4 and see if we can play a non-lands deck.
If you'd like to support me in the channel, please check out my Patreon. It has a free guide to budget turbo depths as well as 3 tiers of support. A low cost one that enters you into my monthly raffle for a free donation deck on the channel, a mid-tier subscription that gives you access to my detailed turbo depths guide that is updated every month as well as regular articles, and lastly the higher tier gives you all of the above as well as a monthly donation deck for my channel. If you're interested in supporting the channel this way, please check out the link in the description.
This hand is a turn 3 goldfish. I will keep it. We can also pivot into doing our other thing too. Play a good old-fashioned Shadowspear. Nothing exciting going on over here, opponent. Nothing weird. Just good old-fashioned Urza Saga beatdown. No need to be scared. A brainstorm from our opponent. A flooded strand. Let's make him scared. We cannot pay. Alright. So that plan is off, but we can just get the expedition map and make an uncounterable 2020. Days, Brainstorm, Underground Sea. This could be a Doomsday deck. Could be like an interesting scam. Okay, so we're on Doomsday. What is our plan to beat a Doomsday deck? Oh, it could be like Ant, or like some weird Ant build. Oh no, okay. This is just going to take away our Hexmage, but we have a win that does not involve using the stack for spells. Took the weird card, fair enough. We will get Expedition Map. We will play an Urborg, Cracker Expedition Map. I kind of feel we have enough time to play the stage and turn it into a basic, rather than just hanging it out there. Alright, our opponent is like some sort of Doomsday scam combo deck. So I'm going to take 3 here. Alright, let's see what the last card in our opponent's hand is. Age of Autumn, go away. Play this. Play this. And their upkeep will make this in case they're running Wastelands. Seems unlikely given the setup, but I think it's still the right thing to do here. Because I'm not 100% sure what's in our opponent's deck. And any bounce spells they have will be instant speed anyway. Alright. We've got a W on the board. So we're looking at a Doomsday deck that probably is protecting itself with like a scam package. That's my guess here. So I think we want some Thoughtseizes, some Surgicals, and some Sheoldred action right there. I don't think we want any of these things. Alright, Grindstone is kind of fun and can mess with what they're doing a little bit. I don't think we need the Shadowspear and the Sheoldred's Edict here. We want our reanimation package. Depths is okay here. I think we're probably trimming on the depths a little bit. And it's probably some Mausoleum Secrets that should be going here. Is that more important than having a Hexmage? No, we're going to leave a Mausoleum Secrets in, right? You came here to watch Mausoleum Secrets. Actually, let's take the Soul Red Lantern out. Keep a Hexmage in. Hexmage turns sideways. That's the reason it's in there. This hand is too slow to beat Doomsday. We will mulligan. This hand has some game against Doomsday. We can keep this, and we're probably getting rid of the Thespian stage here. Even though it can be another black source. Personal Tutor. Okay. We're still Thoughtseizing. If our opponent's got some cantrips and stuff, they might be able to win the game next turn as soon as they cast their Thoughtseize. We can at least try and stop that. Alright, just a daze. It's pretty bad news for us. Might mean that they're delayed a turn on their Doomsday. But they might just have... Alright, they got that ritual. I think our opponent gets to win the game this turn. The life total is high enough that a Dark Ritual putting a Sheoldred into play won't be enough to stop them. Because they need to draw... Actually, no, is that true? They can just do a Thassa's Oracle with less cards. Leave them 1 card in their library. They don't have to draw the whole pile. But they could make a mistake and put the Thassa's Oracle on the very bottom. I know, there's definitely options where this could go wrong if we can put the Sheoldred into play. Right, let's see their list now and have a little idea what's going on here. They have 1 Sheoldred, 2 Sheoldred. Alright. Seem to have boarded out their grief plans. Alright, so we just drew Stone Cold nothing here. Let's play the Hexmage. They've already seen this, there's no extra information. Our opponent should kill us next turn. We have very little recourse here. Street Wraith. Street Wraith. Thassa's Oracle. They win the game. Alright. On the play, I'm more into having another Dark Depths here. We'll trim one of... Oh, this is still a nice big threat though, isn't it? I guess it's the Mausoleum Secrets, isn't it? We just want to be able to win the game quickly. Do we want Sheoldred's Edicts for the purposes of killing our opponent's Sheoldreds? We can just do dueling Sheoldreds. That's probably okay. We've got some hand disruption. I'm not so worried about the Sheoldred because we have 2, like, I win buttons in our deck. Look at the mana in our deck. It's so bad. Let's mulligan. Another black card. I would keep this, but nope. Okay, this is a keeper. So we put back the painter. We put back the troll. If I want to do this grief, we can't do the turn 2 Sheoldred. That's the problem here. Yikes. 1, 2, 3. If we put back the tomb, any land gives us turn 2 Sheoldred. Alright, deck. I'm relying on you to not ruin our day here. This is a risky line, but I suspect this matchup is going to be troublesome. Right, Force of Will, pitching Flusterstorm. Sure. If we can draw a mana source, we get to put Sheoldred into play. Or at least attempt to put Sheoldred into play. We forgot to play a land on our first turn, didn't we? Well, that's really, really embarrassing, isn't it? Okay, we'll play this as a Saga so we don't give them black mana. Oh my... We played exactly to the draw that we got, but we forgot to play our land because we were just an idiot. That's what we were. Yikes. That is annoying. Okay, if that's as Oracle just to scry, that's probably not a terrible situation for us to be in. We're supposed to play around days, we're just supposed to slam it here. If we slam it, we have nothing going on, but if it gets countered. No, I think we're doing this. Alright, they didn't daze us. Imagine how good this would have been on the previous turn. We don't want to play our Urborg out. Our opponent doesn't have black mana currently. They lost a lot of life there. They're going to lose some more life here. Oh wow, we're just going to get there. Alright. Okay, so it seems like our deck can beat non-land decks. So we are 2-2, which is about where I pretty much thought the high end of our deck was. So if we get a 3-2 here, then we've exceeded expectations. Yeah, let's give it a whirl. We can keep this because of the troll. So we're going to try it. Our Mausoleum Secrets could actually do some stuff here. We can go and get a Reanimate. I think we pitch the Hexmage to the Grief. And then we get a swamp using our Troll of Khazad-dûm and Thespian stage. Because Thespian stage already has Dark Depths covered. So let's Grief. Exile the Hexmage. That's what our opponent's working with. Namesticker Goblin, Namesticker Goblin, Muxus. Alright. We take the Muxus. That's the big payoff here. Play this. This could be a tough one. There's a Cavern of Souls. There's Chrome Mox. There's a Spirit Guide underneath it. Swamp Cycle. So what are we looking at doing here? If we play out our Swamp, we can Mausoleum Secrets for a removal spell. Or just a Reanimate is also fine. And we can hold up the Sheoldred's Edicts in the meantime. Alright, Mausoleum Secrets is going to do something. I'm very proud of you, Mausoleum Secrets. Alright. Are they just going to play some Namesticker Goblins? They are not. Okay, so we're going to cast Mausoleum Secrets. Kapow. Let's get ourselves a Reanimate here. Like a black source, please. Not a black source. We'll play this out. We will Reanimate. We can Reanimate Muxus, but I don't really think that's going to do very much in our deck. Would I rather Grief? I think I just want to get the Troll into play and just try and beat down as efficiently as possible. Let's get rid of this. We're probably going to be drawing a card with the Soulgrave Lantern in the near future as well. Although it does make our constructs slightly bigger. So you can at least trade into 2/2 goblins. So I think actually we don't want to do this. I guess we can play the Urborg out here. I think that hurts. Bash for a bunch. If you remove a Namesticker Goblin with its trigger on the stack, it doesn't do anything. Namesticker, if we'd have played the... I think make it was a mistake not to play the Ancient Tomb there, actually. Because we could have activated our Urza Saga and killed that thing. But they're not doing anything over there, so that's okay for us. Let's get a thing. Let's get Shadowspear. So how much are we doing here? 6 plus 4 is 10, so we can hit for 11. That's not lethal, so we're just going to hold up this Sheoldred Edict. I haven't really seen much of our fun stuff. We're just playing a scam deck right now. And they can Mux us, but they've been able to Mux us the previous turn as well. So, alright, we've got some movement here. 4 mana. We can kill Muxus in response to the Muxus trigger as well, so that we're not going to get hit by a big Muxus coming in. Goblin Ringleader. That's acceptable. Pile Driver, Bombardiers, Ringleader, bunch of things. Not a bad one though. The old draw 4. I think it's going to be too little too late here. Name Sticker Goblin. Let's see if they know how Name Sticker Goblin works. Sacrifice a non-token creature. So they sacrifice the Sticker Goblin, they don't get the mana here. Let's see if they're aware of that. Putting your opponents in positions to make mistakes is always helpful. 6 mana. Wowzers trousers. Okay. Let's see how much this one gives them. We could be dead this turn. 7. So they could play Pile Driver, Battlecry Goblin, pump them, swing. And we can block the Pile Driver and we're still alive. They could play Bombardier, Battlecry Goblin and activate. And then that's what? 3, 6, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 damage. But we get to block 3 of that. So yeah, they should have us dead here, right? I think it's deterministic if they do this right. Yep. Play the Battle Cry. Activate Battle Cry. Yep, here we go. So the biggest one we can block is 3. And then they can also just ping 5 damage at our head here. So if we'd have equipped the Shadowspear instead, we could have gained 6 life on this turn. So we'd have gained 6 life on this turn. So we'd be at 6 here. So we'd have plus 6 health, but they'd be coming in for 3 more damages. So yeah. No, we'd be plus 7 health, but they'd have an additional. Yeah, so if we just equip the Shadowspear, we win that one. Yeah, that Ringleader hitting 4 things is pretty good. However, we've got something for this matchup. We've got some things indeed. We would like Plague Engineer on Goblin. We would like some more removal in Sheoldred's Edicts. I don't really think... I guess we do kind of want Grief. Is this about doing Painted Servant type stuff? We don't need a Soulguide Lantern. Making a 2020 is a pretty reasonable way of ending the game. It's probably going to be Mausoleum Secrets. Although this does find us more Plague Engineers. So I'm kind of down for that, actually. Maybe it's the Painted Servant Grindstone combo that goes here. And then we just smash in, like, another Sheoldred. As a way of gaining life and stalling the game out a little bit. We could play another Thoughtseize just so we can hit the Muxus before it comes into play. But there's so many useful plays they have outside of Muxus. So we're going to roll like this. So we do turn 1 Grief. Turn 2 play out as a Saga. It's kind of the same as last time, more or less. I think this is acceptable. I'm not liking it that much, but maybe we're supposed to go deeper. I know. This hand means we don't die on turn 1, which is what Goblin decks do to people these days. We'll take out the... I'm kind of tempted to take out the Mox here, so they only get 1 spell off of what they've got there. That's an interesting choice. So we take out the Mox. What do they do on turn 1? They play Pile Driver, but any red source just makes that play really abysmal. Alright, I think we're supposed to pitch the Hexmage as well. Let's actually play out our land this turn. Yeah, I think it's going to be a difficult one. So if they want to, they can just play Ringleader on 1 by putting the Pile Driver under the Chrome Mox and using the Spirit Guide. And if they hit a bunch of goblins, that's going to be excellent. And if they don't, then that's going to feel real bad for them. So basically going to throw their all into making a Ringleader, which I think is probably better than doing Pile Driver stuff at this point. I'm not really a Goblins expert though, but I've got so many more busted things in their deck than Pile Driver. Right, there's an Ancient Tomb. There's a Chrome Mox. Going to imprint the Spirit Guide, or they're going to imprint the Pile Driver. I think there's a Pile Driver here, right? Unless well, they drew another card, so maybe they got something better to imprint. Pile Driver, yeah. So they're going on the Ringleader play, I believe. The Spirit Guide into the Exile Zone. Here comes a Ringleader. Is it going to be a swing and a miss? We can but hope. Okay, so they got a Rabble Master and a War Chief out of it. That's pretty good. I think that incentivizes us to play out a first striker here. So they have to run things like the Ringleader into this if they play the Rebel Master. They can play the Rebel Master post-combat. That's probably the smart thing to do. There's a mountain. They can tap this for black mana, save themselves lives. Okay, they didn't want to do that. Come on, Dark Depths. I think it's time to get one of these ticking. The power of a 2/1 first striker is keeping us alive. Once this pops and gets an expedition map, we can then make a 20/20 and just win the game on the spot. So our opponent is going to be aware of that, so there's going to be a clock on this game for them. A pile driver. I took an unnecessary point of damage last time from their Ancient Tomb by not tapping it for black, which is interesting to me. And there's the Rebel Master. So these all have to attack. And they all have haste. The Rebel Master doesn't have to attack, but this pile driver is obviously a big boy. We will first strike it down. Take a bunch. Mausoleum Secrets. What does that do for us here? So we can get any 1 mana spell. We can sacrifice this for something to get 2 mana spell, but that's not really going to cut the mustard for us, is it? I think we are on plan. Make a construct to block a goblin. And then hope that first strike can keep us going. And then we can always get the Shadowspear and do some life gainings. But at any point our opponent draws Muxus, we just lose. Battlecry Goblin, probably similar. Name Sticker Goblin. Don't know if they're going to have anything to put in with this, but it's just going to be another attacker. Another War Chief, yikes. This is many goblins here. I haven't done the maths, but I think we're dead. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, I think we're just dead here, right? So we first strike this one down. We chump block one of the big guys. 2, 4, 6, 8. Yeah, that's us dead. Now it's the end of the league with a 2-3, which is what I thought the deck could muster. So I'm not upset nor surprised, really. All right, let's talk about the deck. So obviously there are some significant problems with this deck. Like, we are a lot of A plus B, and the problem of doing A plus B stuff is sometimes you draw lots of it, and we don't have enough grease on the wheels, so we're not dedicated to doing one thing that well. And we had a lot of hands we had to ship where we had like Painter Servant and Hexmage, and it's like, well, that doesn't do anything. And obviously Mausoleum Secrets was a bit too cute in a deck like this, trying to leverage the Painter Servant, so we're going through many hoops to make it work. Now, it did some work for us in that game where we got the Reanimate to put our big threat into play. That was alright. But generally, this deck has some significant problems. It shouldn't be doing all the things it's doing. Our mana base is also kind of terrible. I think the easiest way to fix this deck is probably to just cut this and run a bunch of good cards. I think you can run like a mono-black Scam Depths. I think that is perfectly valid. In the article I wrote about mono-black Depths, that was kind of like this is the deck you probably should be playing if you're playing mono-black Depths. And I think that is probably where you should go here. So this is, what, 17 slots. 4 of these are lands. So let's say that gets you some more Edicts, Bowmasters, some Doughty Voidwalkers. You know, you just play a bunch of good cards. We don't need the Ancient Tombs either, so they can become something useful. Could even be something like Wastelands. We might be able to squeeze in here. Obviously, the Thespian stage. I guess we cut 2 Ancient Tombs for 2 more Thespian stages. But then we get the 3rd one and turn that into a black source. We put 4 more black sources into our deck because that's the thing we need in our deck. And then all of a sudden we're playing real cards, and we haven't got so many like extra combos that aren't really getting it done there. So I think watching this, or even watching the deck take, you probably saw how some of these games were going to go. But we beat Tony, and he's one of the high flying players these days, having won a challenge and stuff, and he's an excellent deck builder and player, and you should definitely watch his channel. So we did get a win there, and we did also beat the Doomsday deck. So, you know, we put some W's on the board. Getting more than 2 wins was unlikely with this deck, and I'm not surprised we didn't really get there. We've got a lot of stuff here that's not really adding to our game plan, but sometimes it's fun to try lots of weird and wild stuff and see how it all feels and how it comes together. Like the Urza Sagas were good, Like you could, the other way I guess is you kind of gut all the scammy type package. But then I think the problem with Urza Saga is that's just another colourless land, isn't it? And we've already got like Dark Depths and Stage and things, and it makes you want to play the Ancient Tomb. So it's kind of like the Ancient Tomb is part of this package. So it's like we're playing 7 colourless lands because of this package, and that's just not viable in this deck, I don't think. So yeah, a failed experiment, but an enjoyable one nonetheless. Had some fun bits, and there were definitely games where we put ourselves in a position to, like there was that one where if we draw Grindstone, we win the game. And we had like 4 or 5 turns to try and draw it, and we just missed. And I think there were other turns where we had, okay, if we draw Dark Depths here, we can win, but we missed. It is what it is. And obviously playing all these extra colourless lands means that when you come against a lands matchup, you're just going to get absolutely ruined, as you saw. Whereas if we were like MONOBLACK Scam with some Doughty Voidwalkers, you know, their Life from the Loams aren't working in that situation. We have more basics, and we just get to play the game in a much better fashion. So during December, we will play like a good version of MONOBLACK Depths, but I want to try something a bit weird and funny that I came up with. We did get to do the Mausoleum Secrets once while we had a painter out, so that was exciting. But yeah, this deck is probably not where you want to be, but it was a bit of fun. I don't really think you can refine this build to be better. Maybe you trim the Ancient Tombs for like some black sources, and maybe you're trimming Mausoleum Secrets as well, but then you just kind of got this weird painter thing. At least the Mausoleum Secrets felt like it was trying to bridge the gap a little bit. But yeah, I don't think you're supposed to slam these two combos together. Alright, I think that's us done for today. I hope you enjoyed this one, and I hope you're glad that I'm playing this silly deck so you don't have to, I guess. Alright, thank you very much for watching. Remember to like and subscribe so you don't miss any December action, and goodbye.